Once again, good morning. This will be
Good
the
morning,
question
Dean.
that we want to start. No? Why do we write a book? The reason for writing, so the primary reason for writing anything is to communicate with others, to stimulate interest or action from the reader. You may also use writing to help you to reflect on your experiences and learn from them. While at the college and university, a key way of assessing the progress and learning of student is via the written work you produce. When we write, therefore, we are either writing for ourselves or we are writing for others. Writing for ourselves, of course, when we write for ourselves, it helps us to think, learn, and understand. Writing for ourselves is a private affair, though it may be shared with others. And writing for others, when we write for others, it is usually for assessment or publication for a wider readership. Here are some questions to ask yourself. Is my book a passion project? Am I writing this book to improve my craft? Will this book help me advance my career or become an expert in my field? How will I serve existing or never or new readers with my book? Is a book the best medium for me to express my ideas? Do I want to generate a side income from my book? And if so, how much? Do I have a plan for a marketing, promotion, and distribution of my book? And will book help me advance my dream for writing full time? So what will be the benefits of writing? Siyempre, hindi naman gusto na nating ilabas yung idea natin, pero we have an idea behind. There are certain benefits, no, na pwede nating makuha sa writing. It is fixed, it is therefore more permanent. Okay? In a sense, you can keep coming back to a previous piece of writing and you may gain more benefit from reviewing it as a result. But do remember that you do not have to submit your first draft. The writing process may take many forms, either visually and textually, of course, and that looking back at your previous experiences of writing can help you learn more about your writing style. Writing offers you time and space to redraft and refocus your message. In this way, perhaps, it is easier than spoken communication. When speaking, you have to think of words and immediately release them to an audience. And once spoken, there is no opportunity to edit them before they are heard. Diba? Unlike sa book, anytime na may naisip ako ngayon, isusulat ko siya. Tapos may naisip na naman ako, isusulat ko siya. Then later on, pwede ko siyang balikan para ma-edit. Diba? Unlike kapag nag-talk tayo, katulad ngayon, nagtutalk ako, pag nasabi ko na, hindi ko na siya pwedeng ma-edit. So yun ang kaibahan ng pag-develop ng isang books. Another thing, the process of writing is something that you can constantly learn from, and cumulatively feedback and reflection on your writing can help you to develop as a writer. Okay? However, an important benefit actually of writing is also that as a form of assessment, a piece of writing can be self-contained with its own deadline and a particular purpose. And of course, you do not have to keep writing the same piece for the same purpose. Okay? Writing sometimes has more impact than other communication channels. Okay? Though through writing, you can select language to influence the thoughts and action of your reader in particular ways, guiding them through your evidence and argument to convince them of your analysis and conclusions. Okay? So makikita nyo, sabi nga ni Ms. Rosel a while ago, ang kanyang book lahat about paano kumita ng pera. So, it depends upon kung ano yung preferred mong language na gamitin. It depends upon also dun sa kung anong topic or subject na gusto mong gamitin, no? Or i-develop. Okay? Wait lang ha. May tumatawag. Okay. Again, what will be the strategies for writing? Kasi sabi, ano ba yan? May ginagawa nga kami, may trabaho kami. Ano ba ang strategies na pwede kong gawin? Number one, syempre kailangan prepared tayo, no? Be prepared for writing. You may want to grow your writing from a plan which may be in outline, visual or diagrammatic form, or you may want to start with an idea for a sentence or paragraph. Doon naman nag-i-start di ba? How to plan to write regularly. Getting into the habit of writing can help you find ways of managing it. Set aside blocks of time with match your concentration span and try to gradually build on your ability to focus. Make a realistic time plan for your pieces of writing and stick to it. Don't forget to acknowledge that there are many stages to producing a written assignment, including reading, writing, and editing, revising for final submission. Kasi, katulad na sasabihin nyo, ako nga po nagtatrabaho ko Monday to Friday. Nag-aaral ako ng Saturday. Ang dami requirements si Dr. Abante, ang dami requirements si, and so on and so forth. So therefore, paano ko pa masisingit yung time ko? Lahat naman tayo naniniwala siguro sa kasabihan na pag gusto, may paraan, pag ayaw, maraming dahilan. Okay. Halimbawa po, ikaw ay isang tatay at gusto mo mag-develop or mag-create or maggawa ng libro, right after work mo, halimbawa 8 to 5 ka, o kaya naman may schedule halimbawa na 2 to 10, mag-alat ka na ng 2 to 3 hours every day, or kaya mag-MWF ka. Kung ikaw na may nanay, syempre, sabihin mo, magluluto ka sa umaga, magtatrabaho ka ng 8 to 5, sa hapon magluluto ka, i-ready mo yung mga anak mo para matulog. Pagkatulog nila, mga 10 to 12, pwede kang magawa ng libro. Pero ako, personally kapag may naiisip ako, automatically, sinusulat ko agad. Type agad ako ng laptop. Type ko yan. Or kahit sa notes ng aking cellphone, nakasulat yan. Ba? So, kahit nasa sasakyan ako, kahit nagko-commute ako at may naisip ako, type ko yun sa notes ko. Para kahit na paano, later on, kapag nag-internalize na kung gusto kong gawin sa libro ko, titingnan ko lang yung mga notes ko. No? So, ganun yung mga pwede natin gawin. Pero ako, preferably talaga, kung gusto ko mag-create ng libro, gusto ko mag-aral, halimbawa may exam, gusto ko mag-aral, tagang preferred ko na time is 2 a.m. hanggang 5 a.m. Kahit nung estudyante pa ako, pag may exams, major exams, yun talaga yung prefer ko. No? So, depende po yung sa kung ano yung gusto nating oras. Pero see to it na hindi naman mag-suffer yung ibang mga ginagawa natin. Okay? Kasi additional nga lang po natin to. Okay, another benefits of course is the process of writing is something that you can constantly learn from, and cumulatively feedback and reflection on your writing can help you to develop as a writer. Ang sarap pakinggan yung magiging tawag sa'yo, a writer, di ba? Write up a section or paragraph as it become easy already, but remember that you do not have to write everything in order. Writing sometimes has more impact than other communication channel. Okay? How about, bumalik pala ako, no? How about the strategies for writing again? Okay. Wala ko Teka lang po nagka-problema yung ko eh. Okay, so ito pa. So be prepared for writing. As I mentioned, no? Make a realistic time, plan your piece of writing and stick it, and acknowledge that there are many stages to producing a written assignment, including reading, writing, and editing, revising of final submission. Okay. So write up section of a paragraph as it becomes ready, but remember that you do not have to write everything in order. Ayun, ang sinasabi ko kanina. Minsan kasi, naisip natin ngayon ganito. Parang sa nagde-develop ka ng research. Halimbawa, meron kang methods of research. So nagde-develop ka ng isang study. Siyempre, number one, ang style kasi kapag nagagawa ka ng isang research, ang uunahin mo talaga is pag-review ng mga review of related literature. Ganun din sa paggawa ng book. Kung halimbawa, previously, yung idea na na gusto mo may ng libro, is meron ng mga ganung klaseng libro, ang una mong gagawin, magbasa ng mga libro na almost the same doon sa ginagawa mo. Ganun din sa research. Kailangan mo muna magbasa ng related literature. Okay? For longer assignment and reports, you may begin by writing a section that comes partway through. Okay? You may begin by writing a section that comes partway through. Example, you may begin by writing the methodology section. Sabi ko nga kanina, end of the writing the introduction before checking the whole piece links together smoothly. When you are writing, stop at a point when you could carry on writing. Make a quick note, of course, about the next point you will make. and this can make it easier to settle back down to writing next time. Find out where and when you find writing easiest and try to maximize these benefits. Take breaks, a breath of fresh air, a chat with friends, but make sure you set times and keep to this for when you plan to restart. Okay? Hindi naman pwedeng pag nagawa ka ng libro, ay hindi ko ito titigilan. Nag-start ako ng Monday hanggang ang anak mo, ang kapatid mo, nangungulit na sa mga, kailangan ko po nito. Hindi mo kasi nagagawa ka ng libro. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Okay? Again, take breaks, a breath of fresh air, a chat with friends is also important. Kasi minsan, kapag nag-chat ka sa iyong mga kaibigan, nakikipag-usap ka, nakikipag-chat ka, pwede kang magtanong-tanong doon na pwede maging input sa iyong libro. No? Yun din ang advantage kasi ng teacher eh. No? So, during the classes, no? Diba, ako nag-discuss ako about sa marketing. Tapos, bigla nag-idea ako ng pag-develop ng marketing. So, yung mga inputs ninyo, possible kung maging additional inputs sa ginagawa kong libro. Ganon din sa pag-chat sa mga kaibigan. No? Halimbawa, ang gusto mong gawin libro ay sa pagluluto. Di ba? Tapos, bukod sa panunod sa YouTube, siyempre, naunang gagawin mo, panood ka sa YouTube, tapos at the same time, magtatanong-tanong ka, ay nakita mong si Sir Reggie, nag-post na, nag-bake siya ng ganito. O, so, chat mo si Sir Reggie, paano po ba gumagawa ng ganito? So, pwedeng ganon. Okay? So, pwedeng mga ganon. Now, writing challenges, we have 18 challenges writers face and how to overcome them. Siyempre, hindi naman talaga namang sabihin natin na gusto natin gumawa ng libro, marami tayong gustong gawin, pero siyempre hindi nawawala yung mga challenges. Okay? This is what you feel when you find it difficult to write. Minsan pagka yung, di ba yan, parang wala namang mangyayari sa ginagawa ko, you just don't know what to write, you're not in the mood, and you don't know when you will be in the mood. Writer's block can be very dangerous, especially if you don't deal with it quickly. I will listed are some quick solution to overcome writer's block. Number 1, take some rest. Again, kung yung maghapon na yun, sobrang dami na nang ginawa mo sa opisina, syempre hindi na ganun ka-healthy at ang oras ng paggawa mo ng libro ay 10 to 12 ng gabi, hindi na healthy yon. Kumbaga parang, syempre exhausted ka na, hindi ka na ganun ka hindi na ganun ka-fresh ang utak mo para mag-release ng mga magagandang ideas. So, pwede ka mag-rest ng araw na yun. Even MWF ka, hindi na muna ako gagawa ng Wednesday. Kasi, kailangan ko mag-prepare ng report ko para sa Saturday class ko. Or kaya hindi ako gagawa ng Friday. So, pwede ka naman mag-take ng rest. Okay? Don't forget, again, sinasabi ko, read, and read. Yun ang huwag niyong kalilimutan. You can produce without consuming. You need information to thrive. So, make sure you read, and some more read. Okay? So, talagang, nood. Ngayon kasi marami nang available sa YouTube, marami nang available sa Google, so possible inputs na pwede nating makuha. Exercise regularly. My God, parang teka, sasabihin ng mga nanonood sa akin, parang ang taba naman ni Doc, nag-exercise ba regularly? Okay. Kahit yung mga 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes na exercise, okay na po yun. O kahit naglakad ka lang mapunta ng palengke, no? Ingat lang po kayo kasi may COVID-19, no? But of course, sometimes the problem is with you being inactive. Kapag naka-exercise ka, parang ang ano mo eh, di ba? Ang ano ng mind mo, ang katawan mo, kasi nagre-reflect yan. Kapag naglalambot ka, syempre tamad ka mag-isip, di ba? The flow of blood through your brain can have a lot of do with how creative you are. So make sure you are getting enough exercise. Because exercise makes us healthy and physically fit, it puts us in the right frame of mind. Di ba? So, Ma'am Joy, alam na. Si Ray Jan, alam na. Don't write. Sometimes you're experiencing writer's blocks because you have been writing for so long that it's killing you. Try not to write for a whole day. Go out there, enjoy the world, see friends, and have a lot of fun. You will be amazed at how refreshed and reproductive you can be at the end of the day. Pag yung mas sobrang ano na talaga, na parang, ay, wala nang lumalabas. Nakaupo ka ng gano'n, naka 30 minutes ka na, nag-iisip ka, tapos babasahin mo, tapos nakita ka na maling grammar, tatamarin ka na. Parang hindi sakto, tatamarin ka na. O, doon ka muna. Hindi hindi mo ibigay sarili mo na tuloy-tuloy lang. Eh wala na nga dun sa huwisyo yung ginagawa mo. So kailangan alam natin kung kailan tayo gagawa, no? At nararamdaman natin 'yon kung kailan talaga yung napaka-fresh ng mind natin para mag-create ka, magsulat ka. Okay? Another thing, lack of ideas. Minsan kasi parang ano ba yan? Parang wala naman ko idea sa paggawa ng libro. Pero ang dami ko nang nagawa, ang dami ko ng mga available na materials, ang dami ko nang nabasa, pero wala talaga akong idea. Paano ba sisimulan, di ba? Observe nature. Taking a look at trees around you, or your dog, or any other object of nature can give you some of your best ideas. Read anything, of course, yung good that comes your way. Reading is a cure to lack of ideas. Read anything that comes your way with openness to new ideas that can contribute to what you want to write. Research what to write. Nandiyan si Google, no? Andiyan ang social media sites, no? Andiyan ang mga website to ignite some of your own ideas. Siyempre, another thing, yung lack of productivity, no? This can be a huge problem on its own, especially if you live in an environment filled with the children or busy in a productive environment. Mayroong ganun, yung parang gusto mong maggawa ng libro, pero ingay-ingay talaga. So, maghihintay ka na tahimik ni yung yung mga nasa paligid para makapag-contemplate at makapagsulat ka na maayos, di ba? So, ganun naman. So, maghahanap ka ng location na Okay. So, productivity tips for writers. So, paano nga ba ano ba yung mga possible tips na pwede kong gawin? Okay? It is very important to know that sometimes as writers, the amount we will make will be determined by how productive we are. This also applies to bloggers and other creative people because if you can finish that same work in less than half the period it usually takes you, can spend the time saved doing more productive things like marketing your business. Actually, I write an average of 4 to 5 posts daily, before. And on my best days, I write a total of 7, para mga 7 pages kapag yung isang araw na gumagawa ako. Minsan kasi makikita nyo, naka-online ako from 1 a.m. hanggang 4 a.m. Minsan nakaka-7 chapter ako nun. Isang araw, isang gabi lang yon. However, I have been able to increase the number of my books. I write on the average day to around mga minsan 10, depende. The tips below made 200% more productive and I'm sure of course it will be best to able to double your productivity by following them. So, nasa sa atin naman 'yon. Okay? I noticed that whenever I work to my laptop, I am distracted by News Plus popping up on everywhere. It's fascinating to be checking my stats and while at the same time interacting with people on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Viber, mga Zoom meeting, and so on and so forth. The reality is that I feel great reading the news, but it becomes really frustrating to discover that I have spent hours doing that without me knowing it and also without learning anything. The solution I came up with is to buy a new laptop, Siyempre, ko ng Mac, Mac, this new laptop won't ever be used to access the internet. Yung sa isa kong laptop, yung sa Mac, yun ginagamit ko lang talaga for pero hindi naman kailangan Mac, I mean to say is, yung Mac kasi maraming kailangan yan. Kumbaga sabi nga nila madamot, di ba? Hindi ka basta-basta makakapag-install ng kung hindi license. So hindi ko siya ginagamit para sa talagang for developing lang a book, a modules or an e-book. Okay? So another thing, another tips, is use a standing desk. Ako nga talagang ginagawa ko pag yung tagal ko na nakaupo, ang sakit-sakit na ng likod ko. So tatama rin ako. So, meron ako talagang biniling yung mataas. Tapos, doon talaga ako gumagawa. When you sit down comfortably on the chair with a cup of coffee in your hands, ako si Mountain Dew, hindi ako nagko-commercial, it isn't not to get distracted. But when you are standing and dancing while working, every minute will be reminding you of the great task ahead of you. Aside the fact that research has shown that sitting down all day is dangerous to your health, of course, and that it has more health hazards associated to it. Using a standing desk also to ensure a stay more focused. It leaves no room for comfort, as well as no, we easily get distracted when we are all comfortable. Using a standing desk can also serve as a form of exercise, and exercise make us healthy and more productive. A standing desk is like a two-edged sword, and having one will ensure you are more productive, not only because you will be healthier, but because you will also find it easy to deal with distractions. Another thing, don't multitask. Sa totoo lang. Kasi hindi talaga maganda yung output kapag nagmo-multitask ka. Since you are a writer, no, with a great responsibility and a lot of things to deal with within a short period of time, what better way to get result than to be writing and checking your email and Twitter at the same time? Diba, ginagawa natin yon? The funny thing is that doing that might be a mistake. I have discovered that I am more productive when I focus on one task and the task only till it is completed. Working on the multiple things at a time is great waste of your time. It is also sometimes result in loss of ideas, and at the end, you see that new very important information pop up that suck hours of your times, even though you're yet to finish your primary assignment. The more focused you are on the task, the easier it to get it done and work on other tasks. But the moment you start working on two or three things at the same time, you find it difficult to get things done, and you are also find it easier to procrastinate. Another thing is, do you research before writing? Ayun ang sinasabi ko kanina, paulit-ulit, ano? One of the secret to my writing a lot of books within a short period of time is to research first before writing. So, hindi po sa ano, at present I have 28 books available, no? Meron sa National Bookstore, meron sa Unlimited Books, meron sa Mindshapers, no? So, yun nga po, paano ko siya ginagawa, no? Sabi ko kanina, no, yun ay isang sikreto natin, di ba? Instead of writing a book and then getting the points of a book, ano ba, magagawa ka ng book A, tapos instead of writing a book A and then getting the points for book B, I try to know how much many books I will need to write in a particular day or week or month. And I ensure I research the points and everything I need for those books before I start typing the first page or the first chapter. One thing though, it is that we often need facts for some books we write, and it's always better to back up those facts with links to authority sources, no? Instead of having to resolve to use the internet whenever you need those facts, why not get those facts beforehand and put them in a notepad or even a soft copy, hard copy, no? Why not get the links you need to include along with the facts at the same time, so that you can easily make use of them without having to close a single computer window. If that doesn't seem to work, you can indicate sections of your book that need facts to back them up, and then use the internet to research those facts once all your articles or books have been written. Another thing is, improve your environment. Okay, sinabi ko na po yan kanina. If you tell me you find it difficult to work and be more productive, the first thing I was ask you is where you work. How does your environment look like? Is it healthy? Do you find it difficult to concentrate? Or are there children disturbing you with their shouts every moment? The calmer your environment is, the easier it is to become to concentrate. The more focused you are, the faster you get things done, and the more likely you are to produce something of value. Sometimes, what you need to do is relocate. No? You might not have the money to change apartment yet, but you can easily look for a friend who have a better environment and be working on his or her place till you get enough money to make the change you need. Sometimes, the best thing to do is this, is to distract yourself with your favorite music. Ako, music lover ako eh. So habang nagre-write ako, dapat may mga music ako ng mga Who Am I, no? Mga mga Josh Groban na kanta, no? When there's uncontrollable noise around me, what I do is make use my headset and listen to my favorite Josh Groban album in the loudest possible volume. I know that it's a kind of noise, but it is organized noise and something that makes me more productive instead of destabilized. Okay? Another writing challenges na of a writers na napipace natin is lack of productivity. This can be a huge problem of age, especially if you live in an environment filled with children, again, or busy and unproductive environment. Take occasionally rest and exercise daily. Yan na naman, si exercise, ano? So talagang dapat mag-exercise tayo. I was always the guy who was never organized. Talagang totoo yon. I'm not used to regular exercise, honestly. Nung nagkaroon lang ng ng COVID-19, sakala ko nag-exercise, no? Pero syempre dapat and I only do things the way I want. It was only of recent that I began see how important exercise is to our health and productivity. I have been also be increase my daily productivity level at least 60%. And the reality is that I only exercise for an average of 10 to 15 minutes a day. Nakikisabay lang ako doon dati sa yung sa channel 2 yung exercise nung doon. Tapos bigla na wala pa si channel 2. So nag-download na lang ako sa YouTube tapos sinasabayan ko pag umaga pagising, no? So yun yung aking way kung paano mag-exercise. It is better to break a day work into 2 days work if it means you will still be able to work for the rest of the week. Don't just work yourself up without thinking about the risk. The harder you work, the more rest you need to take. Work at a stretch is also another tip, no? One thing about life is that there is no one-size-fits-all solutions to every problem. And while some people will advise to be taking breaks every 20 or 25 minutes, tayo 10 lang, 15 minutes kakain, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, tapos na. I have found working for a longer period of time to work for me. Whenever I want to do any serious writing and after researching and getting my points, I switch myself into a write mode. In this write model, I make it a duty to write without taking any breaks up to 3 to 4 hours, sometimes longer. Sabi ko nga, 1, 2, alauna, minsan 12, no? Pag tapos na halimbawa yung pinapanood ko sa TV, so good, hindi pa ako inaantok niya. So, 1 gagawa ako niyan. So, minsan tatapos ako 4 a.m. Minsan makikita niyo yung post ko, good night, pero 4 a.m. na. Yon. So, gumagawa ako ng libro nun. O kaya, minsan nagre-review ako ng international research or mga local researches. So, yun yung mga pinagagawa ko. That means whenever I finish writing a book, instead of going at Twitter or Facebook, or instead of sitting down to rest a little, I move on to the next book without taking a break. And I do that for hours or for a set number of books, chapter, depending on what my goals are. Of course, if you're a freelance writer who needs to produce a lot of books, kasi kapag halimbawa, meron kasing nangyayari na books hati-hati. Meron kaming ginagawang books, halimbawa, nakagawa na kami ng table of contents, tapos 12 chapters, o kaya 15 chapters. Tapos sa 15 chapters, 3 kami, o titigli 5 kaming chapters. Okay? So, yun ang hinahati-hati namin. So, ilang kaming chapter, tapos may deadline. No? Another tips, of course, write first, proofread later. Yun ang problema, yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? Ay, lalo pa naman ako, weakness ko pa naman yung English. Hindi talaga ako ganun ka, okay English, pero yung grammar ba? Siguro kulang yung confidence, no? Yun ang kulang. Pero ang book writer naman, it's not necessary for you to be good in English talaga eh. Kasi, especially, halimbawa, ang katulad ko, may publishing company, pwede ka naman kumuha ng sarili mong editor. Okay, ma'am, ikaw kukunin kong editor neto ha. Tapos, isasama mo siya as your editor. At meron din naman mga publishing company na sila personally, meron mga editor. Okay? Kaya minsan yung libro mo bumabalik 3 to 5 times. Okay, unang proofread ng isang book company, no? Nung nagpa-publish, ng publishing company, i-proofread, isi-send ulit sa'yo, i-LBC. May mga correction sila doon, tapos acceptable ba pag halimbawa, katulad namin, programming ang ginagawa kong book. Kapag ito po ba, Doc, ay tinanggal ko, mali na po ba yung program? May mga ganun sila. So, i-guide ka rin naman ng publishing company. Pero, better din na bago mo dalhin sa publishing company, meron ka ng kaibigan na editor. No? Kasi nga, syempre, hindi naman lahat ang expertise natin ay grammar. No? So, halimbawa, kung ginagawa ko yung math books, syempre, hindi naman ako ganun, for example, kagaling sa mga grammar. So, meron akong, syempre, English ang methods na gagamitin ko, yung language na gagamitin ko. But still, iba pa rin yung na-check talaga. Okay? Another thing is have clear and achievable goals. Another thing that I have observed to be working great for me is to have a goals before doing any of writing. Before writing, it is important to have an idea on how many words you want your chapter to be. How many chapter you want to write, how many hours you want to spend on that chapter, and how soon you want the chapter to be completed. Okay? My best day are those days that I start with an idea of how many chapter I want written, because no matter how tough that day seems or no matter unproductive I feel, I don't stop until I have the number of chapters written. Ganun yata ako ka-addict sa paggagawa na ng libro. Pero nung nag-uumpisa pa lang ako, talagang, alam niyo po ba, nung nag-start ako maggawa ng libro, right after my 2-year degree, no? So, test the program. So, during that time, nag-start lang talaga ako na nagko-compile ako ng mga program na ginagawa na pinapagawa ng mga teachers ko. Compile lang talaga ako. Wala akong inaano. So, nung may naging kaibigan ako na author, may nakilala akong author, nag-attend ako ng isang conference, parang gano'n, tapos may author, nakakwentuhan ko. Yung sabi niya, ay nag-talk siya about sa nag-present siya ng book niya kung paano niya ginawa yung mga content. So, doon ako nagkaroon ng idea kung paano yung gagawin ko. So, siguro mga right after 3 years na makausap ko siya, saka pala ako nakagawa ng una kong libro. Nung makagawa ko na isang libro, nagsunod-sunod na, na-realize ko na right after, ganun lang pala gumawa ng libro. Akala ko naman ang hirap. Akala ko naman, yun pala, kapag nakaumpisa ka na, tuloy-tuloy na talaga. Okay? Disciplining yourself is very important when trying to be more productive. But of what point is discipline when there is no goal? When you know what goals you are aiming towards, it becomes very easy for you to discipline yourself towards making it possible. Okay? Another tips is read productivity books and blogs. Malaking tulong to. Ako talaga, reader ako ng mga blogs no? Syempre, mahilig din ako magbasa-basa ng mga blogs yung may mga joke. Mahilig ako manood yung mga para mga comedy na mga video, no? Nanonood din ako noon. Pero, yun kapag medyo nagsasawa na ako magbasa ng mga vlog na related sa gusto kong gawin. Okay? This is the final and probably the most important tip in this webinar or this talk, no? The mentioned tips are only what have worked for me and are very limited in a sense because they come from from me only. By trying to read the work of others, you will be exposed to the experiment of others. And the results they got, you will be able to see more facts and figures, and you will be able to know what to drop and what to adapt to. The reality is that there is no one solutions to every problem. Again, but at the same time, there is no single individual that is entirely different. There are people with the same characteristics and tastes as you all over the world, and by reading productivity books and blogs, you will be exposed to what works of them, and as a result, find it easy increase your productivity. Okay? Then, another thing is lack of confidence. Ito yung nang una, ito talaga problema ko no? So what if this is the only client I'll get in a long while? What if I'm not only worth what I'm asking for? What if my service won't deliver the expected result? What if there's no other one to pay the bills? What if the post won't result in sales? What if nobody? Puro what if. Kasi nga, yun yung confidence. The most important, this is the most dangerous problem that can plague a writer. It doesn't matter how skilled you are or how much experience you've got. you won't go so far unless you are confident of what you have to offer. Being confident isn't about just knowing that you know your stuff. It is also about being ready to demand what you're worth. When you're confident about your skills and what you're worth, you won't allow yourself to get paid just anything. You will happily demand what you've worth because you know your service will produce results. Fear is one major factor that brings about lack of confidence in budding writers. A lot of writers are afraid and bombarded with what if. The questions can be really confusing, of course, and if you're not careful, you will make a lot of wrong choices. In a situation like this, I tell myself that there will always be a better opportunity, and there has always been. One thing I've gradually come to realize is that the more you cling to those unprofitable offers, the farther away you from getting people who will pay you well. Confidence is internal. It has nothing to do with skills, age, or reputation. Because most people are yet to apply for a writing gig with that big company. Most people are yet to pitch a guest post to that big blogger, and most people are yet to negotiate an increase in income with their clients. Is it because they don't have what it takes? No, it is because they're not confident about having what it takes. It's because they don't believe and they don't have it takes. Believe me, sometimes what it takes to move from failure to success is confidence. And confidence to take a particular action, and confidence to take a particular risk, and confidence to believe in you. So you know how powerful confidence can be. It helped me increase the amount I'm paid per book by a particular publishing company. Magkano ba, Dok, ang kinikita? So, malaki ang kita sa book. So, for example, kung halimbawa lang ito, kung meron kang 10 libro na gumagana sa uh, 10 to 20 university, aba, mahina-hina na yung kada sem, meron kang 200,000. Di ba? And of course, I had also to increase the value. I provide to the publishing company, but this won't have been possible without confidence. And I'd probably be offering the same value for less than half the price if I wasn't confident about what I have to offer. Okay? So yun yung mga challenges, di ba? Pero again, sabi ko nga, nasa sa atin yan kung paano natin gagawin. Okay. Get real clients. Okay? Getting clients is probably the number of one challenge most writer face. Yun yung kapag may libro na ako. So, paano? Sino ba ang di ba? Look for a group of people or organization who need your service. Doon ka nakakakuha ng nandiyan si CNE. Alam ba, sa libro nandiyan si CNE, nandiyan si National Bookstore, nandiyan si Unlimited Books, nandiyan si Mindshapers, andiyan so napakaraming nandiyan si Books at iba pa, and so on and so forth. So napakarami, di ba? Again, see to it na pupuntahan mong publishing company, wala pang kung ano yung naiisip mo na libro. Tapos, i-offer mo yun sa iba't ibang klaseng agency. Halimbawa, i-offer mo sa sinabi kong publishing company. Pag na-offer mo doon, saka ka mag-evaluate sino mas malaki ang offer. Kasi, iba't ibang klase ang book, iba't ibang klase ng publishing company. Halimbawa, National Bookstore. Kapag magpa-publish ka ng book sa National Bookstore, ang unang gagawin, title. Title ang ipapa-approve mo sa kanila. Pag na-approve ang title, sunod nila ipapa-approve ay yung table of contents. Pagka na-approve na yung books at saka table of contents, mayroong working manual na tinatawag. 15,000, as a starting, bibigyan ka agad ng ganun, check-checkahan ka agad. Kapag okay sa kanila yung iyong title at saka yung iyong table of contents. Pero, may kontrata yon. Hindi naman pwedeng, sige, nakuha ko ng 15,000, nakuha ko ng 20,000, pwede na, hindi na ako gagawa. Diba? Hindi ganoon kasi may kontrata yon. Ibig sabihin, kapag binigyan ka nila ng 20,000 or 50,000 na working money, lalo kung halimbawa may con pandemic, tapos usong-uso ngayon yung e-books, yung paggawa, later madigas ko yung e-books. So, ito yung mga needs, di ba? Ito karami ang estudyante ng public, ito ang estudyante ng private, pagdating sa senior high, pagdating sa freshman, and so on and so forth. Ito ang generic sa lahat ng program. Diba? So, ang laki halimbawa ng offer. Pero hindi lahat ng publishing company nagbibigay ng working money. No? Si Anvil Publishing, yes, nagbibigay ng working money. No? Si CNE nagbibigay din yan ng working money. Pero yung ibang mga publishing company, lalo yung maliliit pa lang or yung ang trabaho talaga nila ay direct sila magdadala sa company. Wala silang bookstore, no? Yung talagang sila pupunta sa mga school, ipipresent nila yung libro, ipapagamit sa bata, nagbibigay ng malaking discount. So, yun ang mga wala ng working money. Okay? So, a lot of people believe they have the skills but just can seem to get a clients or a clients. Most importantly, a lot of writers reading this don't want just any client. They want real clients that are willing to pay them what they worth. If you're one of those writers, I have good news for you. You're not alone, of course. Before, there are several ways to get clients who are ready to treat you with the respect of you deserve. Based on my experience, the formula, of course, I will share you later. Again, alam nyo ba na kapag author kayo, halimbawa, sa isang publishing, depende sa publishing company ha, hindi pare-parehas yung contract ng publishing company. So halimbawa, yung latest publishing company ko, yung walang working money yon. Pero halimbawa ako, merong mga publishing company na automatic, binibigyan ka na kaagad ng kada libro, wala kang gagastusin. Wala kang gagastusin kahit 5 except doon sa paggawa-gawa mo. Yung soft copy, send mo lang sa kanila, sila mag-print, sila magdadala, wala kang gagastusin. No? Then tapos yung mga publishing company na yan, bibigyan ka for example ng iba-iba eh. Sa isang book na mabenta, halimbawa kung ang libro ay 100, 20% sa'yo, so may 20 pesos ka. Kada isang libro mabenta, 20 pesos. Pero kapag ikaw mismo ang nagbenta, halimbawa, ikaw ibinenta mo, may additional ka pang 10 to 15%. So sa isang libro, kung 100 pesos, 35 pesos makukuha mo. Eh kung mabenta ka ng 100 o 1,000, sa isang school lang yon. Eh how about sa other school? Diba? So, marami kang possible client sa libro. The fear of selling. Who is my customers? How can I increase my sale? How can I market my output? Ayun, sinabi ko na kanina, no? Yun lang ang pwede natin gawin. Inability to get traction. This seems like a huge problem until actually it isn't, no? Most people complain about not gaining traction, but ask them what they have done to gain attraction, and it is nothing. Gaining traction is easy. Retraining it is difficult, but both are things you can do. The key to gaining traction is selling yourself and ideas to other people, and you need to be creative and smart to get traction. But the key lies in getting your ideas across the people. Network with the other people more successful than you are. Leverage the network of bigger and better bloggers and writers around you and work on getting your message across to as many people as possible. Yung kauna-unahan kong libro, bago talaga nag-start yung libro ko na ginawa ng 2008, ang una kong libro, ako talaga lahat na nagawa kasi I love math, no? So nagawa ko ng book ng algebra. Pero since na hindi naman ako kilala, wala talagang willing mag-finance ng aking book. At during that time, 2007, 2008, wala pa yung maliliit na publishing company. Talagang pag sinabi nating books, publishing company, talagang malalaki ang kilala, National Bookstore, Anvil, CNE, ano pa yung sa mga law, yung sa mga lawyer na yun yung mga kilalang books. So, ang una kong ginawa, naghanap ako ng kakilala ko magaling sa math, no? Na author, talagang chinat ko siya personally kasi nga gusto ko maggawa eh. Ganun talaga pag gusto may paraan. So chinat ko talaga, no? Chat ako, sir, I am ganito, actually I am a second year ganito student and so on. Tapos sinabi ko doon na I'm done already with chapter 1 to 15 or chapter 1 to 12 of my mathematics books, specifically in algebra. I wanted to publish this book. So, parang chat ako ng chat sa kanya, no? Si Sirio Imas. Chat ako ng chat sa kanya. Tapos, siguro mga ilang linggo bago niyo napansin yung chat ko, yung ano ko noon. Hindi ko alam kung Twitter pa ako noon, no? Or Facebook na ba noong 2007. O yun, basta through social media ko siya na contact. Tapos, to cut in short, ipinablish yung book, ako as co-author, siya yung lead author. At ang usapan pa namin, wala akong makukuha doon. Sa kanya lang lahat yon. Para lang makapagsimula. Para lang, kasi kailangan, kasi kung sino agad magtitiwala sa'yo na ikagagawa ng libro, at sino agad tatangkilik ng libro mo, hindi ka pa naman kilala sa market. Diba? Actually, ang dami ko ng nakasamang author na sinama ko sa book ko, pero ngayon, mas marami pang books na nagawa kaysa sa akin. Ha? Mayroong ganon. Okay? So, mahalaga talaga na kahit paano bago ka magawa ng libro, or kung first time mong gagawa ng libro, kumapit ka muna doon sa kilala. In a sense na, syempre, kailangan may learnings ka rin. No? Then later on, kapag nakilala na yung pangalan mo, pwede ka na mag-establish ng sarili mo. Di ba? So, yon. Another thing, of course, is too much competition. Okay. Competition is rife, no, these days, especially with a medium like the internet available to give everybody equal footing. People will accept, sabi natin, mga magkano ba yung mga 500 for the same services you offer per chapter. Meron ganun eh. Sige, bigyan mo ako ng, ikaw mag-assign sa kita yung chapter, bibigyan kita ng 1.5. Meron ganun. Pero hindi ka nakasama sa book. Nangyayari yon. Competition is like a problem, but it is not. It's a solution. Too much competition in a space is an opportunity to earn more. It is a chance to think out the box and pioneer a creative way to earn money. You don't necessarily have to pioneer anything, but those who have ready to think outside the box and embrace competition will be paid well. Stop being afraid of the competition, embrace it. More competition is an opportunity to offer more value and increase your worth. So whenever you see a field becoming too competitive, don't wait until you being paid peanuts for your work. Increase the value you have to offer and increase your rates with it. There's a probability that very few people will be able to do the same. And that's where the income lies for you. Low writer pay, this mostly has to do with lack of confidence or not in getting real clients. So, na-discuss na natin kanina yan, di ba? Dapat alam lang natin. Kasi nung talaga ako, nung una talaga na gumagawa ako ng libro, ang gusto ko lang makita ko yung pangalan ko na nasa National Bookstore. Pag nag-search ako sa Google, ang daming pangalang Abante, tapos nasa National Bookstore, nasa malalaking university. Ganun lang, masaya na ako before. Pero hindi pala ganun later. No? Parang kapag nag-start ka na ay, kumikita ka pala sa ganun, dun mo lang marirealize na, ay, kailangan ko pala magawa ng maraming libro. Overbearing customers or clients. They're everywhere. It would not been that bad if all they did was make you do more work that you should for your money. Worse than this, they dampen your spirit and make you doubt yourself, and you're not careful. This will cost you a lot on the long run. Whenever you're dealing with an overbearing client and are sure of quality service you're offering, double your rate. They probably won't be able to pay it, but that will make them respect you more and control themselves. Yeah? And if they still don't, at kasama mo siya, di fire them. Alam naman, bawa, kasama siya pag-develop ng libro, pag-write ng libro, later on, parang ay siya naman sakit ng ulo mo, ba kung nabigyan mo na siya ng chance, kailangan magsulo ka na siguro. Ha? Another thing, ito na naman, lifestyle, no? Exercise regular. Parang paulit-ulit, no? Exercise regularly, eat good food regularly. Wala nga pong makain, Dok. Walang sweldo, 2 months na. Wake up early, look for emotional encouragement. Even try to work only to find that you're not in the mood or that you don't have the drive. In most cases, this has to do with your current lifestyle and has nothing to do with your not having anything to write about. For example, I recently discovered I wasn't able to do anything lately no matter how much I tried. Discontinued for a few days and my productivity level was low. I decided to rest. I found out that I was sick the following day. So, parang hindi ako makabangon. Alas 10 na, 12 na, 11 na, hindi ako makabangon. Yung pala may sakit na ako. Kaya, pakiramdaman mo yung sarili mo. Hindi yung na kapag sabi ni Doc, tuloy-tuloy lang, MWF. Siyempre, pakiramdaman mo yung ng katawan mo. Okay? Another thing is emotional breakdown. This happens a lot. When you start to doubt yourself and you can start yourself to work, it is mostly as a result of being criticized by customers or someone else. You may be having some problems at home or online, or just having a feeling that you're inadequate. The first step is to realize that it is just what it is. a feeling and not reality. The solution is to work towards your personal development by doing the following, no? Ito yung gawin mo. Read personal development books, blogs, works on improving your self-confidence, examine all criticism but don't get attached to them, surround yourself with good friends who can offer your encouragement. Andiyan ako, ang swerte ko, dami kong friend. Andiyan si Miss Rosel, andiyan si Doc Rolly, andiyan si Sir Regan, andiyan si Joy. So, napakaswerte ko na ang galing nila mga mag-encourage. O tayo, may ganito tayo, o may business tayo, gawa tayo ng ganito, and so on. So, talagang mahalaga talaga na yung iba yung good friends, no, sa regular friends, no? So mahalaga din 'yon sa pagpili ng kaibigan. Another thing is isolation. No matter how important your work is, make sure you aren't alone for too long. Take regular breaks to be with friends. Take a few minutes to read, think, and watch TV. Writing is important, but ditching your friends is dangerous. In fact, ditching your TV is dangerous too. Sometimes, you can even listen to music. Anytime you can do to ensure you don't feel alone will go a long way to improving your life. A lot of people don't know they are isolated until it is too late. Don't be one of them. Use or expression of words. This applies especially to non-native English speakers. No? A lot of us struggled with use, expression of words, and we think we can succeed as a writer. Some of us are even ashamed because we think we don't quality to be a writer. The solution, don't be afraid to speak right where a lot of qualified people are. Try to make your mistake soon so that people can correct you. Also associate with people who are with the English language, and over time you will notice a pattern. Your use of the English language will improve gradually. You should also spend more time reading and writing. Read quality blogs, books that focus on helping people become better writers. Read quality books dedicated to writers and spend more time writing and writing and writing. One great book na pwede kong ma-recommend sa inyo ay The Element of Style. Actually, it's a Bible for anyone who wants to master the English language, no? Yung The Element of Style. Doon ako talagang nagpaano pa ako niyan. Nag-online order pa ako niyan, no? Next will be the negotiation. Okay? Most people complain about not getting a better deal from their clients while still offering the same service. It just doesn't make sense. Why would a client pay you more for the same service you've been doing at a lower rate for months or years? The solution is to increase your value. The increase in value might not be much, but the pay will be great. Focus on increasing the value you offer to a publishing company. Focus on developing a unique approach for delivering your work and negotiate with the publishing company to get a better pay. Most publishing company will happily pay more if they see they getting a better value. Kasi ngayon, kadalasan ngayon, ang mga libro talaga dapat, pag sinabi natin libro, naka-OBE na siya. Pag naka-OBE na, dahil yun ang requirement ng CHED. Anong requirement ng TESDA? Ito yung book ng TESDA. Ito requirements. Kung ang ginagawa mo ay parang senior right, anong requirements? Focus ka sa requirements nila para hindi ka magkakaroon ng, para mas maging mabenta yung libro. Another thing is money problems. One major problems I face with my writing career is with money. Oo, kasi gusto ko talaga ako. Si Miss Rosel, magaling yan eh. Kasi siya na nag-publish ng book niya. No? I just don't know how to budget. Ako, personally, parang, okay, impulsive buyer ako. Pag gusto ko, bili nga. Minsan kahit hindi ko alam, pero ganda, bili nga. Ayun. There are a lot of major expenses out there that need my money immediately, and attending to these expenses sometimes result me in having to be offline for days. The solution is to save and budget before you're paid your income for a particular month. Make sure your budget how much you want to spend and how much you want to save. Saving and budgeting will also help you deal with your customers and publishing company. Having enough money in your account will help you avoid acting impulsively because you need quick cash. Totoo naman. Lack of rest. Nako, ito yung sabi nga ni pag nagchat-chat, ang bansag ng iba nila mga kuratsa, no? Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise. Sabi ni di ba? Ni Benjamin Franklin. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise. Ako naman mayroon din ganung time. Matutulog ako ng 8 p.m., sorry. Tapos, gigising ako ng alauna, alas 2. No? Ganun kasi talaga yung gusto kong ano. How many hours do you sleep in a day? How much do you think it helps your productivity? I have compared days of sleeping 6 hours a day with days of sleeping 8 to 9 hours a day. And I have found that latter to be a better. Diba? Totoo naman yun, pag mahaba ang tulog mo, mas maganda ang gising mo, mas maganda yung ano. Pero kung hindi ka sanay ng ganon, sa una, medyo nasa mapakiramdam mo. The more rest I take in a particular day, the more focused I am and the more work I'm able to get done. Getting things done as a writer is all about thinking and being focused. And if you can do those two things, you're toast. Lack of rest makes it almost impossible to do these things. No, the key to getting more done isn't about having more time. It is to have enough focus time. Isa pang problem, napaka-perfectionist ko. Hindi naman ako magaling, no? Another thing, we always struggle with this, no? Sa Pilipino, Diyos ko ako, nung maglabas ako ng libro, ano ba yan? Ganito, ano ba yan? Wala namang alam yan. Paano naging author yan? Ang daming mga tao, no, na gano'n. And this is why a report I promise will take 2 weeks is already taking 2 months, no? It's normal. It is a part of why we're writers. We don't want to release anything to the world except it is out. It is our best. And sometimes this can be our undoing. The solution is to realize that your work is perfect as it is. The key isn't to perfect something before it is released. It is to release it and then perfect it. Spending months on something that will take weeks might look like a smart decision. But what if it is released and it isn't what your audience likes? Release the things you're finding difficult to release to the public, improve it based on the feedback you receive, and you will amaze at how effective that can be. Okay? Kasi parang, ang sakit sa tenga nung aking ano, parang mali, parang ano, yun yung nagiging problema, no? So, paulit-ulit ka. So, hindi ganun. Tapusin mo lang muna, then later on. Sabi ko nga, pwede ka naman mag-hire ng editor, katulad ng ginagawa ko. 10 compelling reason why you need to write a book. So, may mga compelling reason pang nalalaman si Doc, no? Imagine on going to a party, instead of buying something from the mall as gift of your family or friend, you give an autographed copy of your book instead. Isn't the more sweet and personal? On a larger scale, your book is your gift to the world. You have a unique story that only you and no one else in the entire universe can share. The story couldn't lift someone up. That story could inspire someone and solve someone else's problem. Don't keep the story to yourself. Someone once said that everyone ought to plant a tree, have a child, and write a book. If writing a book is one of your goals, why not write a book this month or this year? Start now. Why wait for next year or next decade? Who knows? You won't just write a book, but you will write many books that will bless the world. Yes, plural, no? The world. Okay? Again, your book is your best marketing tool. Totoo naman yan, pag author ka ng libro, parang, ay, author yan. Ang sarap kaya nung, halimbawa, punta ako na isang school, mag-a-accredit ako. Tapos bigla may hahabol na bata, may hahabol na teacher. Dok, pa-sign naman ang libro na ginagamit ko. Ito pala yung author na ginagamit ko ng libro. Pag nakita ng marketing ng mga dean, nakita ng mga librarian, ito pala yung author, tapos pa-picture sila. Alam mo parang, di ba? That is your best marketing tool. Your book is your best and most effective marketing tool. Next to your authentic self, of course. When you are in a seminar and you want to network with influential people whom you would like to work with, instead of giving each of them your calling card, give him a copy of your book instead. Your book will go long way. Okay. Diba? So, talagang malaking ano yan kapag ikaw mismo yung author ng libro. Para bang, uy, may pangalan ako. Ewan ko ha, ganun ako, kababaw eh. Pero masayang-masaya na ako na nakikita ko yung pangalan ko sa National Bookstore o sa mga ibang. O halimbawa, nakasakay ka ng LRT, nakita mo yung libro mo na hawak-hawak ng bata. Parang sarap ng pakiramdam, di ba? Your book will make you stand out. Okay? Let's say that you are in the business of giving talks. And this company is looking for the best speaker for a particular topic. All the other candidates have their CVs in their talks portfolio. but you were the only one who gave them a book you authored. Who do you think will stand out? It's no-brainer. No? You will stand out because of your book. Whether you are in the business of giving talks or selling cars or selling financial product or selling retail products, if you have a book related to your business, your book will make you stand out. Another thing, you can become a highly paid professional speaker and thought leader. Sa una, wag ka muna magdi-demand, syempre. Nag-uumpisa ka pa lang, hindi ka pa naman ganun kakilala sa entire world. Ang lakas na agad ng inaano mo, di ba? I have a quick question. What do Brother Sanchez, Bu Sanchez, Brian Tracy, Francis Kong, and John Maxwell have in common? They are all very, very highly paid professional speakers. And they are all authors. When you become an author, you will be recognized as an authority. I've been invited to speak in big conferences and share the stage with multimillionaires, top executives, CEOs, and other companies, and even famous celebrities simply because I am an author. No? Sarap noon, nung nakakasama ko sina Sharon, yung mga sikat na author, yung sarap ng pakiramdam. I was also invited to speak at the office of the office of different companies, no, because of my book. If you are a professional speaker now, you can double or triple your professional speaking fee and increase your invites once you become a published author. Pero hindi lang naman yon. Pero ano ba, si Doc Rolly, pasensya na ha. Si Doc Rolly, ang laki-laki ng ano niyan, talk fee, kasi yun ang expertise niya. Di ba? So kung magtuto ka, dapat ang topic mo about sa pag-develop ng libro sa field mo. So pagka ganun, pwede kang mag-demand ng ano mo. Sorry. Another thing, of course, is you can become a trusted expert, trust in currency of business. Yes. In today's world, gone are the days when you have to rely on traditional publisher to publish your book. Today, if publishers reject your book and you believe in the value of your book, you can go for the self-publishing route. Pwede yun. Katulad ng ginagawa ni Mr. Rosel, no? Talaga meron siya sariling nag-self-publish. So, if you sell 1,000 copies that have 300,000 gross income, let's say that the cost of publishing, printing, marketing, and selling the book is 150,000. That would leave you with 150,000 net profit. That's for the physical book. What if your book published an ebook? The marginal cost of reproducing an ebook is practically zero. And you never run out of stock. So let's say you're selling an ebook for 300 pesos each, and you were able to sell 100 copies. That would give you 30,000 gross income. Let's say you spend 5,000 for the ebook cover and marketing. That would leave you with 25,000 net income. Good enough, di ba? If you are lucky to become that next J.K. Rowling's, that another beautiful story, now we'll talk about millions of dollars. Sarap maging author, no? So, ebook lang, hindi na uubos yung stock, pero kumikita ka. At marami namang ginagawa si publishing company sa ebook, no? Or kung meron kang na pwede nating i-restrict yon, yung copy, hindi pwedeng i-share, no? You can become a trusted expert in the currency of business. Trust is the foundation of a healthy and happy relationship. Whether you are an entrepreneur or you're an employee of your leader or a freelancer of a network or salesperson, people will want to work with you and do business with you if they trust you. When you become a published author, suddenly your credibility will rise. In the eyes of the people, you suddenly become an expert, and not just an expert, but a trusted expert. Okay? Sarap pakinggan, ano? Kasi parang, ang galing na yun. Hindi makakapag-publish sa National Bookstore yan, ang kinapin niya lang yan. Ha? You will inspire thousands of people one at a time. Katulad, baka sinasabi niyo, lagi naman sa ito, example niya, sarili niya. Nung nag-start ako ng book, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba? Ako, nagbigay lang ako ng ginawa ko, ipinablish niya, co-author ako, wala akong kinita. Yung mga unang libro ko, siguro mga 5 to 8 books, solo ko talaga yon or 5 to 8 books. Tapos may mga na-encounter ako na co-author, mag-ingat din tayo. May naka-encounter ako na nagbigay sila ng modules, pag gagawin akong co-author, tapos nung ipapublish na namin, na printing na, i-deliver na, the same yung libro na yon, yung books na yon, doon sa ilalabas ng isang author. Diba? To found out yung palang author na yon, ay binigyan din nung kausap mo. Kaya lang nauna siya tapos hindi na, kumbaga parang dinaya siya na hindi na sinabing tuloy-tuloy yung publishing, tapos ngayon ibinigay niya sa'yo. So mag-ingat din po tayo. Let's say you shared a very inspiring story to your group of 5 friends. No? Ito kayo, hindi lang kayo 5, ang dami natin. After you shared that story, your friends were teary-eyed and were so inspired. They said, you should share that story to as many people as possible. So you gathered another group of friends and you shared the same story. They were so inspired as well and you want to keep sharing that story to as many people as possible. But you don't have the luxury of time to share the same message over and over again to as many people as possible. Now, imagine writing your inspiring story through a book. You wrote the book only once, but you could print 100 copies or thousands of copies. And you could potentially inspire thousands of people one at a time. I remember when I learned the importance of personal financial management, of course, inaral ko yung mga financial na yan kasi may sarili akong business. I had a burning message to share but I have no listeners. Whenever I walk, I would talk about money, my friends would shy away from the conversation. Deep within, I still knew I needed to share the message, but I also wanted to respect my friends' preference. And so I wrote a book, of course, and I was always to reach out to thousands of people, not just my friends. You can be featured, ito ang masayang bagay kung gusto mo maging artista. You can be featured in TV shows, radio shows, and top magazines for free. Ang sarap, no? Makikita mo pangalan mo, nasa ano ka ng TESDA, ang pangalan mo, nandun ka sa website na isang magazines, nasa top magazines ka. Diba? Kasi author ka ng libro. Let's say you want to promote your business or your seminars, and you want to top TV shows, radio shows, in magazines to help you promote your business. For them to promote your business, you have to either pay them a handsome amount or have an X deal. Plus, this will be subject to their approval, of course. When you become a published author, you can be invited to guest in the top rating TV and radio talk shows as a resource speaker. Or you be featured in magazines all for free. To date, before, I was invited before ng ANC, nag-talk na ako sa ANC. During my first guesting, na nag-interview sa akin si Edric Mendoza, kung paano daw gumawa ng libro, that's actually the subtitle of my book before, and so on. So ang sarap, parang artista ka na. Nakita ko, artista na po ako, di ba? Pero nagtutok ka lang in TV or in radio. That is also possible. You can effectively share an advocacy through your book. Okay? One the best way to spread a message or an advocacy is through a book. What is your advocacy? How can you spread the message? How can you make people listen to you? A well-written book will attract people to support your advocacy or buy your idea. And a well-written book is a book filled with authentic stories written in a down-to-earth and inspiring manner. Okay? You can write a book and you should write a book. Okay? People think that writing a book is a tall order. It's impossible. It's difficult. And so they quite quit even before they start. Others would tell themselves, and I'm worthy to become an author, but I am not a writer. My grammar sucks. These are valid concerns, but these are not the right concerns to focus on. Of course, you are worthy to become an author. You have a unique story that only you and no one else in the entire universe can share. You're not a writer, but you don't need to be a writer in order to write a book. Can you send a text message that can be understood? Can you carry a conversation with someone? If the answer is yes, then you can write a book. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ano ba ang kaibahan ni traditional book versus e-book? Ay ito. Pag sinabi natin traditional book, a set of written, printed, illustrated, or blank sheet made of ink, paper, parchment, or other materials fastened together to hinge at one side. Okay? Yun yung common. Alam naman natin yung itsura ng ng books. So, ang dami yan. Nakikita nyo sa likod ko, daming libro. Nandiyan yung mga 28 books ko na ginawa ko, no? An e-book is a publication in digital form consisting of text, images, or both readable on computers or other electronic devices. Ito ang kagandahan, no? Sa panahon ngayon, pandemic, syempre pandemic, alam nyo ba na ang books nyo, kung available na siya, ang dali lang i-convert sa e-book. At sabi ko nga kanina, ang e-book, walang masyadong kailangang bayaran. Hindi katulad ng print, di na uubos, no, ang e-book. So, pero pwede ka rin mag-create ng e-book ngayon, di ba? Ito yung usage na, no, ng traditional book versus e-book. Ito yung usage na it is 2017 actually, no, yung ano natin. So napansin nyo, reading with a child, sharing books with other people, reading books in bed, having a wide selection of books, reading books while traveling or commuting, being able to get a book quickly. So yan yung ano natin, usage. Ito naman ang usage ng e-book. Kanina yung traditional book, yung hard copy, ito naman e-book. So by 2008, 2017, sakita nyo, bumababa. Pero ngayon, 2020, tataas na naman si e-book. Kasi nga po, dahil ang kadalasan na ginagamit natin ngayon ay ODEL, Open Distance Learning. Lalo ngayon hanggang per SEM, lahat e-book. Pero meron din naman na module na iba libro ginagamit. Pero mas mabenta ngayon ang e-book. Benefits of traditional book. Siyempre, easy availability, does not harm the eyes as much, di ba? Kasi pag nasa computer tayo, kapag masyadong malaki, mataas yung ano ng ating screen ng laptop natin, so nakakaano ng mata natin yon. Widely used, does not require electricity in others kapag yung books. Diba? Ano naman yung benefits ng e-book? Portability, low price and free, shareable, easy to storage, font, adjustments, night reading without light and others. Okay? So the comparison. So traditional book, hard to carry. E-book, easy to carry. Does not harm eyes, put pressure on eyes. More popular, less popular. Before yun save energy, widespread range of copyright in others. Save trees in others. Kapag e-book, save trees daw. Kasi magpiprint tayo na magpiprint, di ba? So, alam naman natin ang ginagawang papel is galing sa mga trees. And this will be my references. Okay? Thank you very much and good morning.
Marmelo Abante. He holds 4 bachelor's degree in computer engineering, computer science, information technology, and tourism management, with 3 master's degrees in information technology, mathematics, and business administration. He also has 3 doctorate degrees in education, information technology, and business administration, ongoing and currently takes his Juris Doctor in Law at Universidad de Manila. Furthermore, he is an author of various books in programming, database management, CSS and networking, Java programming, C language with logic formulation, web application, basic office applications, Visual C++, Python, PHP with MySQL, ICT empowerment, basic application, Flash 8, Dreamweaver, MS Access, Mathematics, among many others. He also published and presented numerous researches here and abroad. His research topics include analyzing the efficiency and effectiveness of implementing Signly linked list on web browser history and operating system, a basis for standard evaluation, analyzing and recognizing facial patterns using local binary pattern and data compression, intensive analysis of using genetic algorithm towards determining skin types diseases, mapping of the 3 e-learning management tools, an evaluation of integrated environment, building green information technology, among many others. Lastly, at present, he is the system analyst, ID consultant of Tech 911, Accenture, and IBM. He is the Dean of Graduate School and Site of World City Colleges, Inc., the President and co-owner of Holy Face of Jesus Lyceum of San Jose, Inc. in Montalban, Rizal, and the President and co-owner of St. Felicity College, Inc. in Pateros, Manila. an education specialist consultant at Asia Technological College of Sciences and Arts, Santa Rosa, Laguna, and Santa Elena Institute of Science and Technology, Camarines Norte. So once again, thank you, Dr. Marmelo Abante, for sharing your knowledge with us.